You know, it's like a flower. You know, the flower blooms at its own pace, its own rate. Doesn't matter how much sun you shine on it. Doesn't matter, you know, what outside influences are other than, you know, overwatering and stuff like that. But the flower knows, you know, it's kind of, it just has this instinct knowing. You know, I bought these amaranth that are on my table, and they're inside these little wax balls. The bulbs have been put in wax, and you don't have to water them. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, it's almost kind of like an air plant. It kind of becomes an air plant, you know, it just kind of survives in the light and the moistures and the things are there. So adaptability is super wild and important when you think about it, how you adapt to your environment, how you adapt to situations. And, you know, this plant would foster and grow in the ground as much as it's growing inside this wax contained space in this sphere. And kind of like we're inside this huge sphere called Mother Earth, and she sustains us and gives us everything that we can possibly need in order to live. Now, and I'm looking at this plant, these pods, these bulbs. I have two. I wanted a white one, and I wanted a red one, but they didn't have it in the small ones. I had to get two red ones. But I got them from my wife, and I got them from my mother-in-law because, you know, I just a reminder, you know, that these living things, you know, they prosper, they go through their cycles. You know, if I bought my wife plastic flowers, I don't think she'd be too happy with me. You know, sometimes there's something about, you know, having the nature, because I can recycle the leaves and the petals and stuff and use them in certain things. But so I'm fascinated by how this plant adapts and how this plant does these things.